LILT Connect, as existing customers of LILT know, we connect with over 40 content systems, TMSs, CMSs, file storage units, you name it, and we're able to support it. And that's continuing to expand every quarter. We've expanded the capabilities tremendously. So you can see here now we have the full marketplace of providers, things like S3 and Contentful and Crowdin and more. And so you can now select as your first step just what connector you actually want to be able to connect with. And to give a quick background for anyone on connectors, what that essentially enables you to do is seamlessly pull and push content from your content system. So let's say I have a bunch of files in Google Drive that I maintain, and I want to translate that content. So instead of having to go into LILT and upload these files, as we just walked through earlier in the translation workflows, I can actually set up a connector between Google Drive and LILT. And so LILT will automatically pull content from Google Drive. It will go through the LILT translation workflows and then send it back to Google Drive so that you never actually leave your own translation workflow to both send and receive your translated content. That's a capability we've supported for a long time. And so with this new feature, instead of having us build and manage these connectors for you, you can actually self-serve set this up and also customize it to whatever workflows make the most sense for your localization program. And so if you go to the next slide here, you can actually see that the first step would be selecting the connector you want to connect with. And then here you can select your bespoke workflow. So these are all the localization workflows that you might want to have within LILT. And so you have AI plus review, verified translate, translate plus review, include customer review, or AI plus review. And so you would be able to click setup on one of these, and that'll take you to the image on the next slide, which you can see here. And so in this case, we're doing an AI plus verified review step, and you can see that you automatically have this set up. And so what this does at a high level is authenticates. So this is the S3 logo. And so it authenticates the connection between S3 and LILT. S3 is Amazon's storage system. And from there, it'll import files from S3. It'll go through the LILT translation workflow, in this case, AI plus review, and then send it back to the connector integration as the very last step. This is also customizable, and we'll actually from here go into a little demo to showcase what this looks like directly in the LILT platform. I can now support S3, Contentful, Craft CMS, Figma, etc. For the demo today, I'm going to do AWS S3. And so I will click select, and I now have the AI plus review workflow, the verified translate, review, customer review, all the different workflows that I want to have set up for my system. I can click setup from here, and then now it'll just be a few easy additions. And from here, we can actually get this set up live. And so I can just enter my access key for S3, my secret access key here, my S3 region, and then I can do a bucket path that I've set up previously, a path here for JSON files. I can select a mapping between EN and FR in this case. And then I can actually also enable a schedule. So if you're familiar with the connectors, you could either manually trigger a connector to pull content every time, or I can enable a schedule for it to automatically happen. So in this case, I would like a schedule. If I'd like a schedule, I would click enable schedule, and then I can do this every day, every hour. I can start at a certain time and select my time zone as well. I'm not going to select a schedule for this demo, so I'm just going to click done. And then let me assign a model. And so this case, I want to be consistent with English to French. And so if you remember previously from the multimodal demo, you can actually see that you have the same models that you've set up previously also appear here. So I have this LILT contextual AI model, I have a demo day model, and a couple test models. So I can click done, and then I have a project prefix here. So I'll just call this AI day demo and click done, and that should be it. We have this step here called verify. So this will actually run a configuration check across my authentication steps and my import steps, just to make sure that the access keys and then other inputs that I've made, such as, for example, the bucket path names and the paths that I've laid out, are actually all accurate. And so once this says success for the primary categories here, I'm now confident that the configuration has actually been verified. This no longer requires a localization engineer or a solutions engineer to actually run a round trip test and see if this is working. You now automatically know your configuration is now set up. So I can now save this and close this. And then from here, since I selected the manual option and not the schedule, I can actually click trigger jobs. And now we can see that the job creation was triggered successfully and it's looking like it's preparing. And now if I go to home and go to browse jobs, you will be able to see this new job that was just created. And I could click into it and essentially go into my translation workflow if needed. And that is our new LILT Connect workflows.